Well, we are celebrating women and Paralympic athletes this month, so let's take a moment to honor both. Well, Ryan Harbuck didn't make it to the Paralympic Games, but there's something to be said about making it all the way to the trials. Well, she joined Danny to talk about her new book and strengthening her mental game.
Obviously, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to your story, but just kind of briefly tell us your story. Tell us how you got here.
Sure. Well, I guess all things considered, my story really started when I was 16 years old. I was at a high school dance. It was a girls ask boys dance. Coming back from that dance, we decided to go bowling. We were on C470 and Broadway, headed towards the mountains, and something happened. I wasn't driving. The driver of the vehicle lost control, and we ended up crossing the car across the grass median. There were 6 of us in the car, and we hit a car head on. Everybody in our car and the other car that we hit was injured immediately. There were 2 fatalities. I ended up flying out of the vehicle and landing so far away that when the paramedics arrived, they later told me that they had trouble finding me. And once they did, my neck was crooked. I was bleeding really badly. I wasn't breathing, and they didn't really know if there was much hope. I had sustained a spinal cord injury. I had broken my back about the level of where your belly button is, and was paralyzed instantly. I was in pretty bad shape.
Why did you decide to write this book?
It's so funny because it took me about at least a dozen years, probably 15 years to write this whole book. And I don't recall any period of time, any aha moment where I told myself I need to write a book. I think so much of it initially was my own processing of my experiences and the lessons that I had learned or was still learning. And it wasn't until I was pregnant with my 2-year-old that I realized that I really, really did want to go all the way with my book, and I really did want to publish it.
Of course, right now, all of us are cheering on Team USA in the Paralympics, and I know that you yourself went to the trials, which is amazing, and you didn't make it, but just being able to go, I think, is incredible.
Well, so when I was in sort of the world of Paralympic swimming, it all started in a very, very small, silent quest of mine. I had just gotten off of bed rest. I'd been on bed rest for almost a year at that point, and I had kept dreaming about swimming, and I wanted to get back into swimming. And so once I was able to get back in the pool, I sort of made this promise to myself that I was going to put everything that I could into swimming for myself and see where it took me. To put yourself into that Paralympic world or that sports world, it takes a lot of effort, and that's not just, the hours in the pool. That was me sort of being my own manager of the sport and trying to get sponsorships and things like that to go to these different meets. And I trained pretty solidly for about 2 years, and I was able to go to a bunch of different meets and events. And at that point, I even had some records, American records, and I got to swim for Team USA at the Pan Am Games that year that were in Guadalajara, Mexico. It's a different world. It's a different world that I wish that more people had their toes in, because every single one of these athletes has a story behind them, and they have a drive that a lot of people don't understand. And they have this drive because they've been held back at some point in their life.
Ryan, thank you so much. It's been such an honor to be able to chat with you. And seriously, you're so inspirational. We're so happy to have you on.
Thank you so much. This is really awesome. And I just really appreciate being able to take the time out of your day and everybody else's lives. So thank you.
Ryan, you are amazing. Win a copy of Ryan's book, When I Grow Up, I Want to Be a Chair, right now. Just email that keyword chair to mycoco@9news.com for your chance to get a signed copy of the book, and learn more about Ryan's work at ryanrayharbuck.com.